All right, Serious and Silliness Outcasts, the news with John Olivia and Justin from Brooklyn. Happy St. Patrick's Day, bro.
Yeah, it's coming up.
Yeah, was
Fucking
it tomorrow or Sunday?
Sunday.
Yeah, well, by the time this airs, it'll be Saturday. So, do you still you go to the parade or anything?
No, I haven't done that for like 20 years.
Yeah, I know. I hate parades. I don't know. I never.
I don't like the crowds. The crowds fucking are
Yeah,
like
yeah. I never been to the St. Patrick's Day parade. I never been to the Puerto Rican Day parade. I never been to the Columbus Day parade. And I remember as a kid, my parents took me to like parades, and I never wanted to go back. I just wanted to go home. I was like, this isn't fun. This isn't fun for me. I remember they took me to the Thanksgiving Day parade once,
yeah,
and
my father took me there too once.
I remember being like freezing my ass off, and I was like, this isn't fun. This is ridiculous.
Is it this
Yeah, a bunch of guys dressed up as Indians, and
yeah.
it's like, yeah, but anyway, so we got a lot of news going on. So looks like the Tate brothers are arrested again.
What the fuck's going on with that?
But this time they're actually trying to take them. They're being detained in Romania, and the UK wants to extradite them to the UK
Accusations.
over an accusation from 2012. All right. So let me read it first. Bucharest, Romania. A court in Romania's capital on Tuesday granted a request by British authorities to extradite the divisive online influencer Andrew Tate, but only after legal proceedings against him in Romania have been concluded, his spokesperson said. The Bucharest Court of Appeals decision came after Tate, 37, and his brother Tristan Tate were detained on Monday evening on arrest warrants issued by British authorities over allegations of sexual aggression. The fuck is sexual aggression? And a UK case dating back to 2012. All right. So Romania had nothing on him. Zero. Right? They arrested him. They couldn't charge him with trafficking. They couldn't charge him with rape. They couldn't charge him with sexual assault. Nothing. None of the girls said they did anything wrong. Everything was voluntary. They worked for him at the webcam place. There was one girl that came forward, but she turned out to be a complete fraud. They were released on house arrest, and then they were completely released because they couldn't press charges. And now the UK wants to extradite them for something that happened from 2012. Don't make sense. Doesn't make sense.
Well, that's the it appears to be the MO with everything else.
In order for usually like when a country wants to extradite a criminal,
They're not going to come after you for fucking. That's like the United States going after somebody in Yugoslavia for jumping a turnstile in Manhattan.
yeah, it doesn't make sense. Like usually, like
Wait.
usually it's a major player, a guy that who was the Mexican drug lord that they brought
Yeah.
here.
Oh, El Chapo. Yeah, you're going to spend that money to fly to the UK.
Yeah, it doesn't like over, and I don't even know what does sexual aggression mean. I don't know what that means. That's not assault. That's not grape. I don't know what that means.
Apparently, it doesn't matter anymore. You could
Yeah,
fucking, yeah.
this guy, this guy pissed somebody off. These two guys because
Everybody, they go against. They have such a huge platform. That's like with TikTok. They want to ban TikTok
right,
because it's not because China fucking some Chinese company runs it or whatever.
right.
Because if that was the case, it's if everyone's anti-China. It's well, they're buying all the farmland here.
Yeah, right.
Why not fucking stop them from buying everything?
But let's stick to Tate. I understand where you're going with it, and which is really funny because
Well, they can't control him. That's the thing.
yeah, but here's the problem, and I don't understand why these people aren't understanding because this same thing happened to Trump, but Trump's a different situation. But with Tristan and Andrew Tate, they're not as relevant as they were when they were on YouTube. When they got kicked off YouTube, right? They became relevant again when they were arrested, and then they were released. They were really not too relevant. They're on Rumble every day. Nobody's talking about them as much as possible. But then they arrest him again, and now he's relevant again, and people are talking about it again. And it's kind of like the Trump syndrome, where it's like they want to get him, they want to get him. The more they go after him, the more they make him like a martyr, and more people get on his side. And the same thing is happening to Tate, because it baffles me why you would go after a guy that's in another country that had all charges dropped in Romania of all countries on a sexual aggression case from 2012, and I don't even understand what sexual aggression is.
I don't think nobody does.
So this guy had to piss somebody off. I don't know who, I don't know, but somebody or a group of people with a lot of power that just can't. I don't know. I don't get it.
I don't know. It's all they can't control him. So
Yeah.
it's like, well, we gotta shut this guy up because now I read it somewhere that he has this huge following of young men.
That's right.
And they are now can't do that.
Yeah.
Can't do this. It's like it's what they want you to hear. It's all fucked up.
No, it happens to be true. Guys like Tate, but it's not just Tate. Guys like Tate. Tate was basically the gasoline that was thrown on the fire. But guys like Rogan, guys like PBD, guys like Tate, guys like Fresh and Fit, they're basically educating the young men of Gen Z. A lot of the Gen Z young guys are now voting Republican and realizing what it's like to be masculine again, and how women are treating them again, and realizing what's happening in the country because these podcasts are opening their eyes.
Yeah, they can't
but for some reason they have a target with Tate. They don't have it on Rogan. They don't have it. I think it's easy with Tate because he owned a webcam business, and it's easy to tie sexual allegations to somebody who owned a webcam business, right? It's like, oh, he assaulted this girl, he raped this girl, whatever the case might be. It's like, oh, I could see that. He did, own a webcam business. But then when the girls say, no, he didn't, he never did, then you're shit out of luck, right? Like,
yeah, it's all political.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And like I said, these guys were not. Oh, here we go. Let me see. 4 women had reported Andrew Tate to the UK authorities for alleged sexual violence. What is sexual violence? Then they come up with new terms. Like, what is sexual violence? Did he grape the girl? Did he assault the girl? Did he grab a titty? What the hell did he do? But here's the best part. 4 women had reported Andrew Tate to the UK authorities for alleged sexual violence and physical abuse, but the Crown Prosecution Service decided not to prosecute him. The alleged victims then turned to crowdfunding to cover their legal costs as they pursue a civil case against him. So the UK government said, you have no evidence, and they decided to make it a civil case, and they're extraditing him to the UK over a civil case. You tell me that doesn't, there's no way in hell that makes sense.
No, not for me anyway.
There's no way in hell that no fucking way. That's absolutely ridiculous. And whatever. Before my head explodes, let's go on to the next story, which is a doozy. This is a good one. Rolling Stone. A woman in a 14-year coma gives birth in Arizona. Okay.
Hey, listen. It's 2024, baby.
A 36-year-old nurse from the Hacienda healthcare facility has been arrested and charged with sexual assault. Let's see. Nathan Sutherland, a 36-year-old Hacienda healthcare, and 1 count of vulnerable adult abuse, according to the Associated Press. So, this is going back to January. On Tuesday, January 8th, investigators served Hacienda Healthcare with search warrants for DNA samples from all of its male employees in hopes of finding out who was responsible for the woman's rape and pregnancy. In a statement, the facility said that its latest step by law enforcement is a welcome development in the investigation. So, all right. So picture this woman wakes up after 14 years of being in a coma.
What the hell happened?
And she's like, wow, anything interesting happened while I was out?
Oh yeah, it's a boy. I don't know. Listen, yeah, obviously find a guy, lock him the fuck up. You can't grape somebody as they're in a fucking coma.
It's just,
but it's one of those things like, what do you think was gonna happen?
Yeah.
When you have a bunch of male nurses now, or caretaker, whatever the fuck they are, the guy should be prosecuted to the full extent of the law.
Absolutely, he should be thrown.
But at the same time, it's like, what do you think is like? This is where you gotta draw. Like, there's gotta be boundaries, because listen, you and I, man. I'm not saying we would do that, but the idea is gonna cross a guy's head at some point in time.
We're gonna get canceled.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm just saying. There's guys out there that would do that shit, and it's just, there's guys out there with no self-control.
It's unbelievable, man. Like there's been times where I've been really, really, really desperate. Like I haven't had sex in 6 months, a year. There've been
I'm not
times like
that
that.
desperate.
And I've never thought to myself, you know what?
Let
Maybe
me
I'll
go
go.
be a fucking hospice nurse. You can't. No, there's no. I'm not. Listen, they have to. There has to be like, all right, the woman's in a coma. All right, there's got to be surveillance. Obviously,
Yeah,
there's got to
really. Yeah. Or like you need
be.
DNA evidence. Like is that surveillance in the
Yeah,
room?
That's how desperate you guys got. Who did it? I don't know.
Yeah, really. Like you don't.
Somebody know, because I would have said I don't know. I'm pretty sure it might have been so and so, but then
Uh,
it's like everyone's worried about being fired, and
could,
it's
could you imagine being that person's family member, and you got to be the doctor to tell that person's family member, whether it's their brother, husband, whoever.
we got good news. One, she's out of the coma. Two, it's twins.
But what's funny is she came out of the coma after 14 years. You mean the kid could be 13 by the time she woke up.
Oh, they didn't tell them at the same time.
No, I don't know. I don't know what the deal is, but
How do you give birth in a coma?
they probably do a C-section, right?
I mean, obviously, but how do you?
I don't know, man.
She's getting fat. Stop giving her no more water.
You know my IV. What do you got in that IV?
Oh, water weight, yeah.
What do you got? Yahoo in that IV?
Baby slides out like, what the fuck happened? Come on, guys, come on.
Yoo-hoo. I said Yahoo. Listen to me. Yoo-hoo.
You-
All right. Next one. This is all right. So Robert Kennedy Jr. is running for president on an independent ticket. This is again according to the Associated Press. And for some strange reason, he's considering Aaron Rodgers or Jesse Ventura for a 2024 running mate. Like, okay, I can get Jesse Ventura because he was a governor, but Aaron Rodgers, wasn't he a quarterback?
You might as well pick fucking Corey Feldman.
Yeah. What? How?
I don't know. The guy's trying to lose, I guess.
I don't know what to do. Robert Kennedy Jr. is having conversations with vice president candidates as he gets closer to announcing his running mate for his independent presidential bid. Kennedy told the New York Times the NFL quarterback Aaron Rodgers and former Minnesota Governor Jesse Ventura at the top of his list. Really?
Jesus Christ. That's who they. This guy don't stand a chance now.
I don't understand that. I don't get it.
I said you might as well pick the Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah, really. Kennedy is.
Clueless.
I don't. He's actually really intelligent.
I like
So,
RFK Jr.
yeah.
Of him to say that, it's like, what are you doing?
I think he's going to have a problem in the debates because you have to really pay attention because he has some kind of speech impediment.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, you're going to have to really pay attention, and it's going to give
There's
Donald.
subtitles on.
Yeah, and it's going to give Donald Trump plenty of room to interrupt and just destroy him.
My thing is, I think because RFK, he says a lot of shit that I agree with,
Oh yeah,
and he's a Democrat no matter which way you look at him. He could run on the independent ticket or the Republican ticket, but he is a Democrat no matter what.
yeah, but he's an old school Democrat.
Yeah, he's not
He's done that.
not far left.
Right.
Like, he
right,
is,
right, right.
he wants smaller government. He don't think the government should be involved in head, they should be involved in now.
Right, exactly.
But
the
yeah,
guy-
and then that catches my ear, and I'm like, you know what? I was like, I like this guy. Like
me
if
too.
Trump's not on the ticket, I'm gonna vote for him.
I really
But
wish.
they're not gonna, just like they hate Trump, they hate this guy because
I think more than they hate Trump.
because nobody owns RFK Jr. Like nobody, he's gonna do what he believes in, and that's it.
Yeah, it's the same thing with Trump, right? But the
Yeah.
problem with, but he's from their party, and even he's going. These
Like, what are
people
you
are wrong.
doing?
Yeah, right. And you know what's funny? You know what's good? He's been on a ton of podcasts, and he was just on the Andrew Schultz podcast like last week.
Yeah.
And he's really gunning for like he's trying to target the younger audience, younger meaning 20s, 30s, 40s, guys, because according to him, there are like 40 something percent independent voters in the United States, and that's the greatest it's ever been. That's the highest it's ever been ever in U.S. history.
Did you blame?
Yeah, right. Yeah, I can't blame. Yeah, right.
Because a lot of the Democrats, and the same thing with Republicans, like you got far left and far right, they're gonna vote no matter how fucked up the candidate is on either side. They're gonna say, "Oh, I'm gonna vote." Like me, like okay, I'm in the middle, and I'll say, "Yeah, I'll vote for Kennedy if he's on a ticket." My mother said the same thing,
Me too. Absolutely.
and it's like, okay, this guy, he makes a lot of sense, and
Yeah.
I think he believes in it.
I do too. And they tried to kill him. They tried to assassinate
Oh,
him.
I saw they won't give him Secret Service.
They won't give him Secret Service. Yeah.
Well, hey, listen. I mean, it would have been the first time
And
he got
supposedly
shot.
he's supposed, yeah, really. I mean, you would think that a guy, first of all, you would think that a guy that had a attempted murder on him from his uncle being John Kennedy and his father being Robert, you would think that would be national. You would think that would be global news.
Yeah, they would say, okay, let's give this guy. He obviously we don't want the guy to die. You know, you don't want him dying, so we got to give
Yeah,
him something.
but the media buried it like immediately,
Yeah,
and
well,
and then the Biden and then the Biden administration denied his access to the Secret Service, and apparently he's completely eligible for it because he's running for president.
he's a main guy. He's a main. Everyone's, just because you don't see it on Fox News or CNN or MSNBC, he's a main guy. Like he's like people like him. He has a big
Oh
following.
yeah, it's a huge following. Yeah, I don't know how it's gonna work out with the actual election because the last time we had an independent with any kind of worth was Ross Perot, and he was the one that basically
Yeah, but he had a lot of money to back his shit. So
and he was basically the one that got Clinton in. The votes that actually was yeah, I know exactly. The votes that were actually supposed to go to George Bush went to him and got Clinton elected. Otherwise, George Bush would have probably been elected. So I don't know how this is going to impact, Biden and Trump, but
I want to see the debates. I want to see Biden. They won't let Biden debate.
yeah,
It's going to be very favored in his side because they'll have some big liberal outlet that's going to moderate, and so of course they're going to cut whoever off is talking against Biden.
yeah.
And watching the say that with Trump, like watching those debates, it's like I'm not talking about the debates for the primary. I'm talking about the presidential debates.
Yeah. No, I know what you're talking about.
Clearly, like you're favoring the one guy. Like, what are you doing?
I think Trump is going to have a field day with these debates if it's Biden and Kennedy because Kennedy has a bad speech impediment. I mean, even though you have to be patient.
But Kennedy, he's there mentally.
Yeah, and Biden, he doesn't know. He doesn't remember anything. So
he goes off script. That guy, he goes fucking haywire.
Yeah, so I think Trump is going to have a field day, and Biden's going to be exposed, and I think Kennedy's not going to be fast enough to keep up with Trump. Yeah, as much as Kennedy is extremely intelligent, he's just
his voice.
It's his voice, and it takes a long time to make a point.
He takes a while to get it out.
Yeah, it does, and I don't think that's going to make for a good debate, but we'll see because Trump loves to interrupt.
That should have anything to do with who he votes for.
No, it's the truth. But the thing is, Trump loves to interrupt and make you look like a fool.
Yeah, well,
he did it with Hillary. He did it with Biden. I mean, he did it with even all the Republican nominees. But anyway, all right. Next story. This one was really good. I like this one. Remember that song? If you want to be happy for the rest of your life, never make a pretty woman your wife. From my personal point of view, get an ugly woman to marry you. Well, apparently that's not true. So apparently there's a new study that says unattractive women are more likely to cheat on their partners. Let's see.
I want to meet the person who put that story out.
Yeah. Well, let's see. The study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology involved 233 newly married couples. The research team monitored them for 3.5 years, observing all kinds of intimate details about their relationships. Some of the observations included whether they'd consider cheating, how satisfied they are in their marriage, and whether they're still married to their spouse after 3 years. They concluded that younger people and those less satisfied in their marriage are more likely to cheat on their partners. That's not entirely surprising, but what did come as a surprise was that those who enjoyed an active sex life within their marriage were also more likely to cheat. Wow. The reason researchers reckon it might be because those people who feel more positive about sex in general and go out looking for more of it, regardless of how they feel about their relationship with their partners. It seems the more you have, the more you want. Appearance is also a determining factor. The study found that less attractive women are more likely to have an affair compared to their prettier counterparts. Interestingly, the men married to unattractive women were no less likely to cheat on their partners than men married to attractive women.
My theory about that is once you hit a certain age, you don't have standards, so everyone's the same.
I
Like that's, I
honestly,
mean, that's just my theory. It like doesn't matter anymore. It's like,
I think fat, ugly women desire attention just as much as pretty girls do. They
well, you
don't
know
get
what
it.
they do that's really good. I heard, and I
What?
just heard this. I never experienced
You
it.
don't know. Yeah, okay, go ahead.
They fuck you.
Yeah, they suck good,
See,
baby.
that's okay, but I can't say the R word. Thank God. I don't
Well,
know. It's always been. I never had. I mean, I have standards, but I'm literally like I'm one of those guys where it's like if I get along with you, like that's all it takes. Like I am.
oh,
If
yeah.
if I'm into
But,
you, I'm into you.
but we're not talking
Whatever it
about
is.
men. Well, we're not talking about men. This was that women, the unattractive women, are
Well, I'm
more.
not. I'm talking about women.
I don't know what you're talking about, but anyway,
Well, if I, so okay. For instance, I know don't imply that I'm fey
go ahead.
or anything. But if a woman's attractive, that's fine. But she could be a total bitch, and it's like. But if a woman is not great, not not the greatest looking woman, but if she has like something where I could get along with her,
Oh
then it's like
yeah,
that's what it
of
takes. So a
course.
lot of they just because they're ugly doesn't mean they're not like cool to hang out with. It's like, oh, you enjoyed it, hang out, you enjoy the
I,
time you spent with them.
I think you're giving guys too much credit. Guys will basically screw anything.
Well, that's what I was trying to get to. But
Yeah, yeah. So, and then what I think happens, and the pretty girls get a lot of attention, and women, attention is their currency. They love attention more than anything. Instagram proves that. So when you have an unattractive girl that's not getting attention, they go, generally speaking, they go to things that will give them attention, and that is giving out the sex quickly, right? How many times you know you had that girl in the neighborhood that was just a horror show, but she screwed everybody because she wanted, men's attention,
I think the
right?
attracted have low miles, and guys are attracted to low mile vehicles. You're
How do
gonna
you
buy a fucking Ferrari with a million miles on it, or you're
no
gonna
no
go
no
to the
no,
Honda Accord that has 300,000.
no, I don't think that's
That's
a
not my. I don't know.
I think that's a moral question. That's a morality question, right? Because when men, all you really need, the majority of men just need a pulse, right? I mean, let's be real, okay? So whether the girl is
As long as they're
ugly,
in a coma or not, it don't matter.
yeah, yeah, well, that proof positive right there. That's right.
Like,
So
she looks good, so
as far as a girl's body count, it really is more a decision that she makes, right? So I think it comes down to more of being of attention. Pretty girls get loads of attention, and ugly girls don't get a lot of attention. So in order for them to get attention, they use sex in order for them to get attention. And I think that carries on even into marriage. When an ugly girl marries a guy that she really, she wants to get married for the sake of getting married, but she's not getting an upper echelon guy, and then somebody else just give her some attention, and she gets those feelings again, and it's boom, it's
that makes sense.
well, I'm a smart guy.
You are educated.
Yeah, even though I said now I gotta
I
now I gotta bleep that out too. Anyway, this one, two more stories, but this one was my favorite. This one, well, the ugly one was my favorite. This is my second favorite. Elon Musk abruptly cancels Don Lemon's show on X hours after taping interview for debut episode. Did you hear about this?
Yeah, you can't attack the guy you're interviewing on his own platform.
Did you see the interview? He insulted the guy.
I know. So I don't plan this again. What the fuck?
What are you doing, dude?
Everyone's like, oh, free speech, free speech. No, you can't. If I owned a fucking store, a pizzeria, let's say,
Right.
and you came to my pizzeria, started throwing my pizza on the floor, saying this pizza sucks, guess what? I'm gonna throw you the fuck out.
Yeah, you're fired. Get out.
Yeah,
And
it's like, what the fuck? What do you think?
that's pretty much what Elon Musk did.
Yeah.
But because if you watch the interview, for people who didn't see it, Don Lemon asked him if he was going to pay for Donald Trump's legal fees. And it was basically an insult to Elon Musk, plus an insult to Donald Trump. But he was insulting Elon Musk because everybody knows that Elon Musk is paying for Gina Carano's legal fees for suing Disney, right? So
Yeah.
he basically passively aggressive insulted him by saying, "Are you going to pay for Trump's legal fees?" Now everybody knows Trump could pay for his own damn legal fees.
I think he's broke right now for whatever reason. I don't know
for
why.
some reason, I don't get it. He had a pair of sneakers that I
He's
don't
in
know
a
how.
poorhouse.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
the sneakers
unbelievable.
they sold out.
Yeah, 30 seconds. It was unbelievable. And And for some reason, they think that he's broke or whatever. And then so it was an insult to Elon. It was a bigger insult to Elon Musk because he said it right to his face. And then it was an insult to Donald Trump, obviously, but more so to Elon because it was Elon's interview. And then he said, shouldn't X be responsible for hate speech? And then he said, shouldn't you address hate speech on your platform as opposed to having to address it to interviews like mine? And then Elon abruptly said, the only reason why I'm giving you this interview is because I offered you a job on my platform and you asked me for the interview. And, and so like literally right after that, he went, you're fired. And it's so Don Lemon can't get that CNN.
He can't make the connection with his brain.
Yeah, he can't get that CNN guy out of him. You know what I mean?
Like a gig with fucking
he's not
Twitter or whatever.
Yeah,
he fucked up. You know, he's too arrogant.
Don Lemon doesn't seem to be realizing the change in interviews. You know, Don Lemon is still doing the late 90s, early 2000s, Bill O'Reilly, Bill Maher type of interview where I gotcha, I'm cornering you, I'm going to make you look stupid, right? And
you do it to your boss.
Yeah, you don't do it to your boss. Yeah, right. Yeah. And then he does not realizing that interview style is really passe. It's old hat. It doesn't work on long form interviews, as we've seen, right? So, you know, the interview style has changed basically with Joe Rogan, where it just basically has become a hour, 2 hour, 3 hour conversation, as opposed to this gotcha interview. And anybody that knows is adapting to that. PBD, Andrew Schultz, Tim Pool, you know, you go down the list, Joe Rogan, and Don Lemon is still doing this CNN approach, which doesn't work on platforms like X because you wind up making yourself look foolish. And you're doing it to Elon Musk. And the last person you want to make an enemy is Elon Musk.
He was your boss. He would have a nice fucking little gig there, and he decided to throw it out.
I don't know why. It just blows me away. You're Elon Musk.
I'm gonna use the famous words that guys who I know use against me. Guys who vote, you know, leaning left.
Right.
When it comes to free speech, everyone's like, "Oh, free speech, free." The same thing they say: free speech has consequences.
Right.
Which is not. That's not how it should be. Like then they bring up, well, Colin Kaepernick, he got fired for whatever, but he took that shit to work, and he fucking threw it into his boss's face, and you know,
right, exactly.
As far as I know, the 49ers were a privately owned fucking company.
Yeah, it's the same formula. I hear what you're saying.
So guess what? Yeah. If you're gonna be the employee and you're gonna interview your employer, and you try to fucking stick him one quick.
Yeah.
He's gonna say, fuck you.
And Don Lemon does not see the future. Media companies like CNN, Fox, MSNBC, these are dying mediums. The future is X. The future is valuetainment. The future is Joe Rogan. The future is are podcasts in long form that the majority of people are getting their news from. And the majority
That's why everyone's trying to cancel them.
Yeah, exactly. The majority of people under 55 are still getting their news from podcasts like the ones we just named. And things like CNN, Fox, and MSNBC are going the way of the dinosaurs. They're going to be dead soon. And a matter of fact, the only reason that they are still alive is because their number one sponsors are Big Pharma. But Big Pharma is actually 70%.
Well, they got to push their fucking...
Right. 70% of Evening News' sponsors because of the audience that they target.
Yeah.
So if it wasn't for Big Pharma, they would be dead already.
Yeah. Yeah.
And but you know, it's just like
they all got a script. I don't know why people don't fucking see that.
I don't get it either. It's like you cut your nose to spite your face, Don Lemon. You know, I don't. Whatever.
Yeah, it's like, who the fuck are you anyway? Okay, you're a successful guy, and then you still use like the race card and the gay card. It's like, okay, like that's old already.
Yeah, it's like fucking figure it out. All right, last video. This one's gonna get you pissed because it got me pissed. The Daily Wire. Pittsburgh police cut staff between 3 to 7 a.m. no longer respond if not in progress emergency. Pittsburgh police will no longer personally respond to calls that aren't considered in progress emergencies after recent department policy changes. Calls not considered in progress emergencies will be assigned by dispatch to a telephone recording unit. The city's website states creation of an enhanced telephone reporting unit, TRU, operating from 7 to 3 a.m. daily, including weekends. Dispatch will assign reports to the TRU for calls that do not require an in-person response by officers. In addition, between 3 a.m. and 7 a.m., when reportedly far fewer 911 calls are made, no desk officers will be present at the 6 police stations in the city. Instead, call boxes linked to 911 have been installed during some overnight shifts. There will only be 22 officers covering the city from 3 a.m. to 7 a.m.
Hey, listen, let's go down to Pittsburgh. Let's rob some banks in between those hours. Because apparently they can't call anybody to come fucking save their lives. You know what it is? And I'm sick of this shit because they'll do shit like this to please the fucking mob. And they'll say, look, yeah, we care about everybody. You know who you're affecting? The people you're affecting, it's the black community.
Absolutely. The innocent, absolutely. Right.
I'm gonna tell you right now, and I love everybody equally. Like there's no I don't hold prejudice against anybody for who they are or what they are. But my neighborhood, I'll tell you right now, is gonna be safe at those hours.
Right. The people that you claim to be worried about are the people that is going to get affected by policies like this.
Yeah. And then it's like, they don't see it. They're like, oh, yeah, we like them. We're going to vote for them. Okay. Now, if I was a criminal, guess where I'm going?
Right. Like,
exactly. I'm not going to go to some white neighborhood where I know they're going to fucking, someone's going to shoot me.
Yeah, right.
I'm going to go to a minority neighborhood. Black.
Hold on 1 second. Sorry.
Shut up!
I got
the woman you had pot in your basement.
All right, no, I'm not editing that out.
Pittsburgh?
That's my dog. He won't stop barking a little bastard.
Yeah, sure.
Because those votes swung votes from the Republican Party to him, and I mean, I'm sorry, the votes that should have went to George. Jesus Christ, they can't fucking think today. So they didn't have a pre-workout. That's going to get edited out.